And I think it's like Bitcoin's now fighting the final boss in the video game. It's really up against the central bankers, and much earlier than we ever thought. Which is, what was it? The thing that was quite hilarious is that because El Salvador's decreed this as legal tender, the World Bank, by their own charter, have to accept Bitcoin as payment of debt. Which is like, so it's at the very highest level. We've got institutions that need to face Bitcoin now, which was, I kind of thought this would be another 4 years away.
I know, man.
And so, I don't know. I think that there's going to be attacks on it, like very, very hard out attacks. I even saw that with Tesla back when they, remember when Tesla was the darling of the shorters in Wall Street, and everyone was trying to take out Tesla, and there was just FUD after hit piece on Elon Musk and Tesla during that time. I feel like that's kind of what's happening right now with Bitcoin. That's on a sentiment base, on chain. It's like, I can just see buyers, sellers, and sizes, and it's, to me, it's as simple as we had a lot of buying from the January of this year, really, and those guys were very, very large buyers, very high net worth, and some maybe institutional hedge funds, short time frame kind of guys, or even family offices. And the thing is, like, a lot of those guys took their money off the table from that $50,000 to $60,000 range. And so all those coins just ended up on the market. So they were dumped out, ended up, having the inventory on the exchanges, the speculative inventory, just go up. So I imagine just for every coin that's sold, obviously, there's a buyer. So I guess speculators bought those coins. And now we're in a very speculative phase. And those coins are slowly being reabsorbed by long-term holders, slowly, and it's very much structured like on-chain. It looks like the COVID crash and then recovery, which took 8 weeks. We had a massive dump out of what looked like long-term holders, those people that bought, up to 6 months ago, and they sold for the very first time, unloaded their coins, and the buyers are smaller guys. It's retail, and we're not seeing, unlike the coins are moving to stronger hands, long-term investors, but we're not seeing the same amount of pure rate of coins moving off the exchanges into cold storage like we saw in COVID. So that's so, and price right now is going sideways bearish. It's like chopping along sideways bearish. It looks like what we call a Wickofian accumulation price pattern. And so if that plays out, then we should have that last wick down to the 28, 29 should have been the final test of the bottom. If that continues, everything on chain looks like it's in recovery, right? In fact, we're getting like a bullish divergence. On-chain's going bullish. Coins are being sucked up into strong hands while the price is driving downwards. And the last time we saw that was in late January when we had the first dip of 2021. And on-chain was diverging upwards as the price was going down, and then we rocketed upwards. So that may play out. I think that we still need to see what happens in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Like, I do think we're in the next couple of weeks at least, we're in an upward trajectory. But, it's recovering. We just don't know what's going to happen in the next, obviously in the future. If we get another round of people dumping coins, then that'll destroy this accumulation. It could push us down lower. But in terms of fundamental metrics like valuations, like MVT or stock to flow, we're already heavily discounted. So it's like a cycle that, unlike any that we've seen, and I mean that, like people are templating this thing to 2013, where we had a double pump, but underlying structure is completely different.
Well, it's just the bullish news is extreme in the sense that we have a country making Bitcoin legal tender and Michael Saylor buying. I think he bought all the Bitcoin, and then then the FUD is super extreme in that we have Elizabeth Warren complaining about energy, Elon Musk complaining about energy, and Chinese miners, being turned off. So it just feels like the normal bullish and bearish news of a normal cycle, but just of extreme ends of it.
Yeah, and it's like the buyers that bought that push price up were obviously they were very new and they were very prone to the FUD, no matter how bullshit it was. It's utter bullshit, but they bought it, and I even noticed. Remember Michael Saylor and Frank, what's his last name? There was a debate that they did on gold versus Bitcoin, and he fudded. Michael Saylor won that debate clearly on all points from logic and fundamentals, and yet Frank attacked Bitcoin on there's no way the authorities will allow Bitcoin to prosper. And I noticed that the FUD actually worked. The price dropped after that debate, and I think that a lot of these new buyers were, you get an easy 2 to 3, even 4x over a number of months. You're probably gonna be sensitive to like, oh, this is scary. I'll take the profit now. In a highly volatile asset, so I don't know. But I do like how it is like the small guys that are buying it right now. It's it's very good for the network.
Well, a recovery feels good, and like I say, it's like 30K seems to be defended pretty well. I'm not in that point where I'm thinking things are over. There feels like there's too much good stuff is still happening. And like you said about the China news, to me, the China news is positive because it removes one of the FUD things that people talk about. We're centralized around Chinese mining. So we get rid of that. Once, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is a lot of the movement of the miners to be using this kind of clean energy. Because I think all we'll have left is like terrorists and drug dealers. That's all we'll have left.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I've noticed this in markets is when the thing shakes out, something that's bullish is initially bearish before it goes bullish. So, for example, the 2008 financial crisis, like all the banks were kind of getting wrecked, right? And if you were a gold bug, you would be sitting pretty because, everyone's going to go into the safe haven asset. But of course, gold sold off like crazy. You got wrecked if you were holding gold because, these kind of more urgent impacts happen where everyone sells US dollars, deleverages, and everything crashes. And then the thing sort of recovers. And of course, gold went on to, like a 4-year bull run. And we saw that with COVID, right? Bitcoin was exactly what you want when the whole market crashed and the money printers started printing on overdrive. You wanted an inflation hedge, but Bitcoin halved also, right? Because everyone was at peak fear. And the same thing now with, China miners, everyone's selling off. But ultimately, the fundamentals are backing Bitcoin because the whole network's becoming decentralized and stronger. So yeah, a dump before the pump is this happens a lot in markets.